Hello and welcome to the video. I'm just in my garden filming on my phone at the moment because I couldn't be bothered setting up all my equipment, plus some of it is not working. What I wanted to do today is just give out a few kind of hints, tips, advice on getting better recording quality for those that are recording sermons at home, teaching, preaching, all that kind of stuff. Just little things that you might not know because you may not know about cameras and lighting and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying you're going to have to go out of your way to go get a really expensive camera or anything like that. Just simple tips and tricks that might help you, and especially when we are in this kind of situation that we're in at the moment where a lot of us are working remotely, recording things at home and uploading them. How can we get the best results out of what we've got already? So I've got a list of a few things here on my little boogie board. So lighting, temperature. Now, first thing I want to say is if you can, try and record in the day because you're always going to get better lighting generally, better light. If you record at night, you'll notice that your camera's going to get really grainy and the footage is going to turn out not so great. So it's better off to record in the daytime when there's better light. It's also probably best if you can if you have a light source, position it behind the camera so it's casting onto your face rather than necessarily a light that's casting down, because it'll create shadows under your eyes and across your face, and it might make you look really tired or angry and stuff like that. As what filmmakers use, they use lighting to create a certain image on a person's face, if that's the correct way of saying it. But it's probably best to have a light source that's coming kind of this way. Normally you'd have what's called a 3-point lighting system, which you don't really need to know about, but it's a light here, and a light behind you. But of course we don't have that in our homes, so probably a light that's just as best you can coming from behind the camera onto your face, if you can do that, is cool. Or 2 lights is great. Ideally the same temperature, and by that I mean you don't want a light that's like a white LED or a fluorescent mixing with a yellow kind of tungsten light, because they'll mix together and they'll actually make you look ill. So it's best to try and get, if you are using more than one light, to try and use ones that are similar temperatures. So both are white, both are yellow, and then when whoever the person is editing it together, it might be yourself or it might be an editor, they can change the kind of the color temperature, make it look less yellow or make it more yellow, depending on what you need. So that's a simple one. If you can, film in daylight, because if you're filming at night in your house, the lighting's gonna not be great. You're not gonna have a lot of light, so it's gonna make the footage really grainy. If you can, use lights that are the same kind of temperature or color tone. What else have I got here? Camera, smartphone. Yeah, so a lot of us, you might just be recording short messages that are 5 or 10 minutes, and that is fine on your smartphone. But of course, sometimes you might run out of time because your phone is capped to 10 or 12 minutes. I think it is on iPhone anyway. Always make sure you got plenty of space on your phone before you record something, because the last thing you want to do is set up like I've set up here, and then 10-15 minutes later, when you've gone through your whole preach, your whole teaching session or whatever it is, you go there and it's said, you know, you've run out of memory or whatever it is. So it's always good to make sure you've got plenty of memory in the bank before you go. Using your smartphone, like I'm using my iPhone here, and frankly the video quality on this is as good if not better than my DSLR, which is crazy, but it's what it is. That's the age that we live in, bearing in mind my DSLR is like 7 years old now, so it's a good image, but this is just handy for go and shoot kind of things, even though it's only 12 megapixels. If you want to record longer, you might want to get a webcam or something like that, where you can record into another piece of software, something like OBS, which is open broadcasting software. You could use that to take your webcam feed in. There are apps out there. I bought one, I think it's called iOS Camera. It cost me about £15-16, but it allows me to use my iPhone as a wired webcam, which is really handy. There are ways to do it wirelessly, but you need ridiculous internet to do it, or really crazy Wi-Fi speeds. So I'm not even going to bother suggesting that, because let's face it, most of us don't. What else do I have on my list here? Smartphone camera might be better. That's true. Your smartphone might be better than whatever webcam is built into your laptop, even though your laptop is super handy to use. I know sometimes your smartphone camera might be better. So just have a look and see which works best for you. Audio. Now, audio is a really big one. Like at the moment, my sound quality isn't going to be fantastic because I'm just recording on my iPhone. There's birds around, I'm outside, all this kind of stuff. It is not what I would normally do, but I'm just not in a position where I can record video another way at the moment. So one thing you might want to do if you are recording on a laptop or something like that, if you've got a USB mic or a dictaphone or something like that, it might be good to record the audio through that as well. I mean, I have this Video Mic Pro. Unfortunately, it's playing up at the moment. This is actually a microphone that goes into my DSLR, which is my normal camera, and the audio quality on that is really good. The quality on your iPhone, your iPad, your laptops, they aren't the best quality. They're okay for like video calls, but they're not necessarily the greatest detail. It's intelligible audio, which means you can tell what is being said, but it might not be the richest sound. So you might want to look at a USB mic. There are cheap ones out there. I know it's harder to get hold of things at the moment, but there are ones out there like Fi-Fine and things like that, which will do okay. Zoom have some good options out there as well, as in Zoom who create audio, not Zoom the broadcasting software, which I know is a bit confusing, but I'll do a link thing. What else do we have? So audio, USB mic, good idea. Dictaphone, also a good idea. Mic positioning, if you are using a microphone, make sure it's not on the other side of the room because it's just going to sound terrible. Make sure it is kind of close to the sound source, which is you, as possible. Making sure that you're speaking clearly is really important. I don't want to be sat here whispering like this because that means whoever is editing your video is going to have to turn it all the way up and you're going to get a load of hiss and it's going to sound awful. Let's have a think. Thinking about the space that you're recording in, like I'm just outside at the moment, just simply for ease. My little studio is not in a position where I can record and set up right now. It's chaos and I just wanted point and shoot. But thinking about what room are you recording it in, does it have good light? Sound-wise, does it have loads of echo? A good way that you can overcome that is if you have, say, a blanket or a sheet or something like that, you can pin that over the camera like this behind, out of frame, and that'll cancel out some of the reflections. That'll deal with some of the reflections that are going to be there and absorb some of the bad sound that you don't want. Let's have a look. So a bit of sound treatment. Egg boxes is overkill and don't really work that great, so don't bother with that. A sheet from your bed that you're not using is going to work better. Sound treatment. Use a sheet behind you. Yep, that's good. Speak clearly. I've already mentioned that. Make sure you're speaking clearly. And eye contact. Look at the lens. As a communicator, you want to be trying to make eye contact. I know this is something I struggle with, but you want to be trying to make eye contact with your audience when you're speaking and you're looking around. You want to be looking around the room. You want to be making key points. You want to be making key connections. Look into the lens. That is how you're going to do it on camera. So, great. There we go. So, some simple tips there that you might already be able to do in your home with whatever you're recording, because let's face it, most of us can't get out. Electronic stores are shut. Getting things on eBay and Amazon can be a bit of a pain sometimes. The kind of distribution chain's a bit disrupted right now. But things like that, you know, just finding what's the best camera you've got on hand. Do you need to record more than 10 minutes? If you do, look at OBS for recording longer periods. Or video cameras can record a long time, so if you've got one of them, that might be a good option for you. Lighting, trying to match the temperatures, the colours of your lights when you communicate and talk into the lens. That is the best way because you want to connect with your audience there. That's where they are. They're not on the screen, they're in the lens. That is something I've struggled with for a while, and I always struggle with that, even though I've communicated and spoke all over the country to hundreds or thousands of people. I still struggle with the eye contact thing. I don't know what it is. But hopefully that is helpful, and let's remember in this time, even though it is crazy, that God is good, and this is a great opportunity to share the hope that we have in this time, and it's a good time to connect with people in your community through things like social media, you know, Facebook, Instagram. This is one of those times where, even though I'll admit they have their negative sides, this is a time to really use them for good, to share positivity, to connect with people and make sure we're reaching those vulnerable and lonely people in this time. Social media is a great thing that we should be leveraging. So those are some of my thoughts on what might help you with recording your videos, preachers, sermons, teaching, whatever it might be. I hope this has been helpful. If you enjoyed this, or you found it entertaining, or it was helpful, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe.